Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is a sponsored video sponsored by RJ for God Save Us. And this is a second video for God Save Us. I did a video not too long ago, one battle at a time against the narcissist. And these people are, I believe, up in New Hampshire. Their son married some crazy girl up there. He's been arrested through, I believe, assaulting his daughter. So I think this is a follow-up. Here we go. Hello, Ollie. It's God Save Us again. I need a sponsor. Please thank you in advance to you and the sponsor. As I said in my first email, this is a long story, and the first email was only a small fraction of it. Since there were so many questions, I thought I would try to clarify. Ollie, you asked why he stayed or even married her. The answer is that I honestly don't know. My son is always a good kid, always has been. Maybe he was truly in love with her. You also asked who was reporting her to DCF. The answer is teachers, doctors, hospitals, neighbors from both places they lived at, bus drivers, friends, family, you name it. Even though she admitted to just about every complaint, every single case was closed as unfounded. I didn't name the judge for obvious reasons, as the case isn't over, but trust me, I'll get the bastard in the end. It's just a waiting game right now. Everything is on hold pending our son's trial. We fully intend to report the judge to the Judicial Conduct Committee, just for starters. The paperwork is done and stamped. Ollie, you also said you were sure the whore was an addict. I can honestly say she's not. Unless you count the occasional hit of a joint as an addict. She doesn't drink either. I'm 100% sure of this. How could you be 100% sure of anything? I think your 100% sureness and your overconfidence might be part of your problem here, why you're not seeing things right in front of your face. Okay, because I'm going to be very, very honest with you here. You keep saying, look, you don't just marry women like this in a vacuum. You don't. There's a causation for it in your son that I don't think we're getting to the bottom of. She won't even take meds that are prescribed to her. I realize that's not the norm, but she is pretty much a sober psycho. Her family is into heavy drugs and crime. I wouldn't be surprised if the drug epidemic in New Hampshire was started by them. Look, the drug epidemic in New Hampshire was started by the government. All right? It's a deeper issue to why there's a drug epidemic. Her uncle did time for child molestation. Her mother and sister have spent time in jail due to all kinds of drug charges. For instance, robbing a pharmacy at gunpoint, then selling the stolen pills out of a hotel room. Approximately 2 years ago, on one of the psycho's weekend visits, our grandchildren witnessed their own grandmother being taken down by a SWAT team in her driveway because she was dealing heroin. Then how are they giving her custody? I still don't understand why the police are going to take the time to SWAT team her and her family and then take her side in something like on her word like this. It just doesn't make, and even as fucked up as cops and courts are, I mean, for the amount of police interaction that you're saying these people are having, why would they believe anything that comes out of her mouth? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Later that same day, their psycho mother took the kids to bail out their grandmother. Psycho wanted them to know how to bail someone out just in case it ever came up. Am I missing something here, Ollie? Because that wasn't something I thought my kids needed to know at ages 3, 6, and 8, or ever for that matter. On another weekend visit, she took them to the state prison to visit a prisoner. She told my granddaughter that he was her dad and that they were going to do a Q-tip test when your new daddy gets out of jail, but not to tell anyone because Psycho Mommy wants to take her to Disney, and if my granddaughter tells her secret, she won't be able to take her. Is my son guilty of getting her pregnant? Yes. Is my son guilty of allowing her to seduce him? Yes. You're part of the problem. Your son's a son husband. You son husbanded your own son. And this is what I suspected. Allowing her to seduce him? I'm sorry. I'm calling red flag. And this is my point. He doesn't end up with a woman like this. Okay? The problem is the relationship between you and your son. You have son husbanded him. Yes. So you're answering yes. No. She didn't seduce him. Oh my God. But is he the first 20-year-old to think with the wrong head? No, he isn't. And he's paying the price for his stupidity. And it's a pretty big price, in my opinion. He didn't walk away. He tried to do the right thing. He supported her and the kids financially. He made a mistake. It's as simple as that. This is stereotypical son-husband behavior. Absolutely. Absolutely. Without a doubt. That's how this all got this is why it happened. Because of your relationship with your son. Now, you may not like that, but that's my honest assessment here. That's what it is. That's not to say that this woman isn't completely fucked up, because I absolutely believe she is. But I'm telling you, there's more to this story than we're getting. When I said we had fairy tale childhoods, I didn't mean to offend anyone, and I feel that's how some of you took it, so let me clarify. I meant that because of our upbringing, we were never exposed to people like her. We were naive. We were trusting. She's not some super demon. I'm telling you, you feel like this girl has stolen your baby boy. We were taught to help the unfortunate. We were a perfect family for the psycho to latch onto. And someone asked why this girl would want to be hugged by me. The day after our fight, she was better. I know now that was just her mask, but I was clueless then. My husband and I spent 8 years trying to love this girl. We knew she had a tough childhood and we had lots of sympathy for her. She made sure of it. We tolerated and dismissed a lot of shit because of it. We believed her when she said her mother was the crazy one. In fact, we pretty much believed everything this pathological lying psycho was spewing. To the people who suspect she is blowing this judge, you are among many other people who have made the same observation. For those of you who think Grandma Dearest is hiding something, that is probably because there's so much more to this story. And as far as my own use of the name cunt, I use it because it's the worst name I can think of. I hate this girl more than any of you can imagine. She destroyed my son and has stolen my grandchildren. We are a family of 5, and other than that, the whore's false allegations of our son, none of us have ever broken the law. I'm in my 50s and have never been anywhere near a family court. Unlike her mother, who was and still is a frequent flyer, the only court I'd seen before my son's divorce was traffic court. I wish I could send you the gal report so you would see it all in black and white. I don't think anybody disputes that this woman's a bad actor or a bad player or a narcissist and anything you're saying, but there is a lot more to this story. The way you're talking, you're sounding not like a mother, you're sounding like a jealous ex-girlfriend. You sound like a jealous ex-girlfriend when you talk about your son. The reason he ended up with this girl is because of you. Is because you son husbanded him. You absolutely did. And he found somebody, and you're not going to, really not going to like this, like you. That's the truth. Believe me, I know this story is bizarre. It's like a fucking Twilight Zone. I see the look on people's faces when I try to explain. I've learned in my research that this psycho is one of the very best at what she does. This whore knew from the very start that we had no clue to the fact that she was a full-blown sociopath, wore a mask for more than 8 years. We just thought she was screwed up. Ollie, you asked why they let her out. And again, I have to say, I don't know. I don't know that. I do know that the day she turned 18, she'd aged out and let her go. And she's talking about this girl when she was a child. She was basically labeled a psychopathic sociopath that was dangerous. And then they just let her go. I also know now that she is dangerously crazy and capable of anything, including, God forbid, killing my grandchildren just so we can't have them back. She seriously scares the shit out of our whole family. Although I've never admit that to her, this girl belongs in an institution. What the hell is up with her eyes? They're small, beady, black, evil eyes, and they're fucking creepy. I call them windows to her dead soul. They look like Charles Manson's eyes. I'm not kidding. We can't convince the system that she belongs in a hospice because she has successfully made us look like the crazy ones. I have to question, though, how you're coming off when you're presenting yourself like this. Because it's very possible you're coming off just as crazy as she is. And now if we have a fucking draw of crazy, they're going to side with the mother. I think you're making this worse. She knows the system. She grew up in it. She knows how DCF, the police, and justice system works. She knows all the angles. We can't possibly think like her. We're so naive. We actually trusted the system. I am convinced to this day that the judge never even read the Gal report. He probably didn't want to see the evidence against her either, just like the 8x10 photo. How does he sleep at night? As far as the kids never being the same, you may be right, but our plan is to set them up with the great therapist and just love bomb them forever and hope for the best. That's all we can do. We're hoping to send the psycho to jail, but I've learned that the judicial system is pretty screwed up. So even if she confessed directly to the judge, there's still a good chance she would be let off the hook in the state of New Hampshire. So I definitely won't get my hopes up again. Here's one I forgot. Right after she got custody, DCF was involved because of her past. And this is how much they suck. If you think the judge is bad, it gets worse. DCF carelessly overlooked 3 of the psycho's boyfriends in a row that were all felons. The first one was in jail for sexual assault. I'm not sure on the other 2. When I called DCF regarding her choice of boyfriends, they said unless she is bringing the kids to gang meetings, she's not doing anything illegal. And that's why she got your son charged with a felony. Because if everybody's got felonies, the mother wins. But I'm telling you, you're making this worse. I'm telling you, you're making this worse. Because I can almost guarantee you're giving them enough. You are giving them enough by your behavior to say that that's a problem over there as well. Mother's always going to win in that draw, regardless. DCF stripped all my son's parental rights immediately after his arrest. The hearing was a joke. All the judge cared about was getting it done in 15 minutes because he wanted to go home. Our son's lawyer was allowed to ask her 2 questions, which in both of them she caught psycho lying on the stand. She blatantly committed perjury twice and nobody noticed but us. The case being appealed. What does that mean, nobody noticed? So the lawyer didn't notice either? So only you noticed. See, this, I think, is your problem. I mean, you might be seeing things that aren't there. Your lawyer didn't notice she lied blatantly twice on the stand on direct questioning? Then what was the point of the direct questioning? Didn't he call it out? Didn't your lawyer call it out? Or only you saw This is what I'm trying to tell you. I think you're making it worse. I think you have a weird obsessive you have a son-husband relationship with your son that is not right. I'm not saying you did anything with your son or anything like that. I'm saying your pattern of thinking in regards to your son is what's causing this, was what's caused all of this. During this time, the judge also ordered her and my granddaughter to see a therapist. She was supposedly went for 2 months, then quit, proclaiming the DCF that she was all better. At the following DCF hearing with the same motherfucking judge, I shit you not, the judge told her he was proud of her, and we sat with our mouths just hanging. Soon after that hearing, why would DCF let her? Soon after that hearing, DCF gave her the okay to sit in on my granddaughter's therapy sessions because Psycho convinced the social worker that our granddaughter was scared without her. They never even talked to the therapist, just took her word for it. But how do you know that? See, how are you knowing all this stuff? That's what I got to ask you. Or are you assuming this stuff? Our son had full custody and final say for a full year. He kept his job. The kids had everything they needed. He made it to every appointment he was supposed to, and his kids were happy. The judge never patted our son on the back. He never said he was proud of him. We didn't even know what he was proud of the Psycho for. Our son stood up in court and told the judge about her 3 felon boyfriends, and the judge asked the DCF worker if she'd done background checks out on them. Her exact words were, "No, but I've spoken to all of them and they all seem very nice." And this is, ladies and gentlemen, is the total incompetence our family is dealing with. I hope I've clarified some things. Believe me, I get it. It's hard for me to believe this story, and I'm fucking living it. I will swear on a stack of Bibles that every bit of this story is true, and we are not the crazy ones here. One more shout out to the person said they would like to hear the Psycho side of the story. I just have to say, good luck with that. If you hang around long enough, she will give you several versions to choose from. She lies so much she can't remember her previous stories, so they keep changing. She just lies to lie. She enjoys it when anyone believes her. While we were waiting outside the courtroom last year, we heard Psycho tell the social worker that she cooked a full Thanksgiving meal all by herself. Then the social worker took on this conversation about the meal with her. From approximately 10 feet away, we could hear lie after lie about this imaginary turkey. I'm not even saying this like a mother-in-law. She literally can't boil water. She microwaves everything. I'm pretty sure we watched her transform the social worker into her collection of stooges right before our eyes. As I read this back, I realize there's still so much more to the story, and we're not even done yet. Signed, God save us. This story it's just too much. It's just too much. Your level of involvement with this girl and what she's thinking and what she's doing, and she can't even boil water. You have a very unhealthy relationship in regards to your son. You son-husbanded him. That's why he ended up with this girl. That's why he ended up with her. And I am telling you, you are giving the narcissists here, because I don't doubt what you're saying about her. I don't. I just think you're a part of the problem too. And I have to be honest here. You know, for your son's sake, okay, if he's innocent, I'll take you at your word that he is. For your grandchildren's sake, you have to ask yourself, am I making this worse? What is my role in this? How am I coming off in this? Am I coming off like a controlling mother of a son husband? It sounds that way. It sounds that way. And I'll be honest with you, I got even a lot of private messages about about your first story. Listen, I know how crazy family court system is. I know. But you have to know when not to make it worse. You have to know where to cut your losses. You have to be honest with why your son ended up with this woman. Move aside, the can't boil water and all that other shit, the psychosis shit. How much are you two really alike? You may not want to look in that mirror and you may not want to admit it, but the truth is probably right in front of your face. Are you making this worse? You have to be honest with yourself here. Okay? She seduced him. That's what that's what every narcissist says, who has a son husband or a controlled daughter, that they must have controlled them. So I'm sorry. That is one of the biggest red flags, and you just stood here and waved it on my channel. And as I'm making this video, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this gun's going to be bad to release. But I have to, because I have to be honest. I have to be honest to myself. I have to be honest to my subscribers. I have to be honest. And that's not to say I think this is a good mother, but you have to at least be able to admit what you're playing into this, and are you making it worse? So I hope I got through to you somehow, and I hope this helps. Probably not. Probably not. I fully expect the attack, but whatever. Thank you to RJ for sponsoring. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to help it succeed, expand, and survive, because remember, this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.